Yo, what the fuck is good, bro? I'm sitting in a fucking parking lot. I'm on lunch at work, bro. I'm at lunch. I'm having a fucking coffee for lunch at fucking 3 p.m. So I'm about to just talk about how the fuck I ended up addicted to Special K, the good old kratom. How that happened. And just the legacy of it and where I'm at today with it. So kratom, I tried that shit when I was like a teenager. I would do it every once and again. I didn't really care that much for that shit, honestly. I kind of like Percocet more. When I was a teenager, I was like such a beast at not being addicted. I could like take an array of drugs and then just not be addicted to any of them, except for, well, actually, I'm not gonna say too much, but I tried that shit before. It was like whatever. I could do it on and off, and maybe it'd make me sick and I'd be turned off by it. I wouldn't do it for like a year. But there was a period where I got my childhood best friend a job at this IT place I worked last year. And I was telling him after work one day, I was like, yo, when I was in California, they had these shits called kava bars. And it's like some fucking like herb, and then you drink it, and then makes you all loose and shit, like whatever. And I was like, we should try that shit. But you know, being that we're in New Jersey, there weren't any kava bars, and we didn't want to take the train to New York, so we tried to find some sort of alternative here in New Jersey. And then there was this like coffee shop with those like feel good drinks. If you know, you know. And then we got one each. We thought it was like just kava. And then we went to his crib and we were playing fucking Call of Duty. We drank that shit. And we were feeling good as shit, bro. I was like, oh, fuck. Holy shit, this is amazing. On the same wavelength and shit. That shit was amazing. And then the next day, next 2 days, he told me at work, the day after we did that, he went and he copped 2. And I'm like, what the fuck? And then we did it together again. And then I was reading the fucking the active ingredients, and then it's got kratom extract, and I was telling him, dog, I was like, bro, I don't think this is the kava making us feel good. I think it's the kratom. I think I'm gonna skip the middleman. And he was like, huh. Interesting. Then, I went, copped a stack of kratom, hit that shit. That shit took my fucking soul, bro. That shit honestly took my soul. Life was already okay at that point, but however good it could have gotten, it broke those boundaries. Like, it passed the ceiling. At first, I was tame with it. I was only doing like a little bit once a day. And then since I had no tolerance, it could like keep me good. Oh my god, this nigga's speeding on this shit. Since I had no tolerance, it would keep me good for the rest of the night. I only do it at night too. I do it every day. I do everything on it. I would draw. I'd make music. I made some dope music on it. Came up with some dope designs, some drawing on it too. It made everything more whimsical, more magical. The way I talked was musical. The way other people talked was musical. It was just fucking crazy. And got to a point where, one dose, I was like, hey, we could jack this up. My tolerance is getting up. So I started doing more. And then, like with high highs come low lows. So the more I did it, the more my days became about me trying to chase that high. I just called that shit chasing. Like I was chasing. I was like anything I was doing was only about trying to get that high again, because it was just like so good. It was just so fucking good. I made a promise to myself that I'd never upgrade to perks. So I kind of like locked myself in that realm kratom. Because if I went that bad with kratom, then, you know, like, God forbid, fucking Percocet. But yeah, I was just like chasing that shit all the fucking time. I had gotten a motorcycle at that point, so I was like on kratom, like driving that shit. And I found out not real quick, because I didn't want to know any bad things about it, because I just liked it so much. No, I loved it so much that I didn't educate myself on any bad things. I didn't like read about it. Wasn't going on Reddit or nothing. I wasn't asking anyone questions. So I found out about nystagnia, or the eye wobbles. If you know about that shit, you know about that shit. Yeah, I would like go outside and try to do shit or try to drive my motorcycle, and I couldn't even like see straight. So I would have to like go home, and it would kind of like keep me home, and I would stay home, and then I would just like chase like constantly. My girlfriend fucking hated it. My girlfriend at the time, she fucking hated it, that cycle I was trapped in. And you know, I couldn't stop either, because if I stopped, then I'd suffer withdrawals. Fuck, that shit was crazy. I remember times like trying to go without it, because I don't want to do it in front of people, and then it's just like cold sweats, goosebumps. But you know what? That's not even the worst part about it. I think the worst part about it is like how little everyone understands addiction. And especially since kratom is legal and people don't really know about it, they kind of don't respect your struggle if you're on it. Like it seemed like no one understood, and no one even cared to understand. Like it's beaten in everyone's head to like, if you told someone you're addicted to fucking heroin, they'd be like, oh shit, because it's like it's been beaten in their head for like years, decades, that heroin is very bad, being a junkie is bad, being addicted to heroin is bad. But no one has heard of fucking kratom. So you tell them you're addicted to kratom, they're like, what's that? And you try to tell them about it and make them understand, and they're just like, huh, okay, and then they just move on from it. And if you're suffering, they just don't care. They don't care to get it. I remember this one time I had my boy over my crib, and I was like trying to fight the urge to re-up so bad, because that shit's abundant. You could just get it anywhere. I was trying so hard to fight the urge. And then people don't understand this, people who don't have to deal with addiction. It's like beyond self-control. It is like I'm usually a solid person at willing myself into shit, controlling myself, but that shit takes control over you. It consumes you in a way that I've never experienced anything else before. Like something like kind of comparable to it is like when you're horny or some shit, and then like you have these like crazy thoughts, or like your thoughts kind of consume you, and these emotions you have kind of consume you. But it's like that times like 8. It's like it goes beyond ego, it goes beyond willpower. It's like this shit has you in shackles. Like it has like a fucking leash on your neck. Like it's pulling you around, like it's telling you what to do. But yeah, I was trying to like fight the urge so fucking bad to go up and like to go and re-up, and I was going through withdrawals too, and my boy was at my crib, and I was like in a ball in the corner, and I could just tell like he was getting pissed off because my struggle was getting in the way of him having a good night. Like he wasn't concerned about how I was feeling or the fact that I was like sweating. He wasn't even trying to reassure me. He actually said that I should just go do it because I'm going to end up giving up anyway. Like he said that shit. And like I said, like if it was fucking heroin, if it was like fucking like coke or some shit, he'd be like, bro, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. You know, but it's just not as stigmatized because it's like legal. People have like this weird idea of legality too. Legality and morality. Like, I see it a lot with fucking graffiti. Like, if someone goes spraying a wall on an abandoned building or spraying a wall on the highway, just like shit that doesn't obstruct anything for anyone. It's like just because it's illegal, my fucking mom thinks like that. She's like, nobody should do it just because it is illegal. Like, illegal equals bad. It's not yours, therefore you shouldn't do it. But really, it's not obstructing anything. But I'm just trying to say, like, stigmatism has a lot to do with people's perception of shit. Because my man just did not care that I was suffering right in front of his eyes. He just did not seem to care. I had a friend too, and she just, actually, I had a bunch of people that they would always tell me to just stop, like, just stop. I had this one friend. I stopped talking to him because of this. Every time it would come up, he would just, like, insult me and tell me, like, I'm weak and I don't want to change, and maybe that's true to a degree, honestly, but yeah, it's just, like, a bunch of, like, harsh words, like, you don't want anything to be different, you're doing this to yourself, you're weak. But it's like, you have all the answers. But it's like, there's just something so far beyond your ego or your self-control. It's like, when you become addicted, it's like, you have to nourish your food and water, but you have, like, a third thing. You have, like, your drug of choice. And it's like, if you're really hungry, you're gonna find a way to eat. You know, if you're really thirsty, you're gonna find a way to drink water. And if you're fucking having those cravings, or if you're going through withdrawals, you're gonna find a way to get high, bro. Like, people just don't get it, man. It's pretty fucked up. Now I just don't talk about it. On fucking New Year's. Oh wait. Let me backtrack a bit. Yeah, I had quit kratom like 5-6 times. I ended up going to a program too. They taught me a lot of good skills, coping skills, but I ended up back on it. Now if I stop, I will go through withdrawal, but it doesn't, like, own me anymore. But it's just become such a part of me. I, like, identify with it so much. It's just, like, really hard to stop. And even just, like, there's two parts of the addiction for me. There's, like, doing it, and then there's, like, being high. But for a while, I wasn't even getting high, but now I'm, like, doing a super cut. Like, I'm cutting down hard as shit. And, like, now, if I do a few grams, like, I feel it. And that usually makes me want to do more and more, but I don't know. I think I'm just getting to a point where I'm prioritizing other things now. It's other shit I want to do, so it's like, I don't want to just sit around and chase. It's hard. It's really hard. And no one gets it, and no one really cares to either. Dude, that anxiety you get from... Okay, first of all, I'm gonna throw it out here. Kratom is an opioid. It's not a narcotic, but it is an opioid. Okay? People who don't do it seem to disagree with that. Just because it's legal, they disagree that it's an opioid. But people who are addicted to it and suffer, you know, they always agree that it's an opioid. It's not as powerful as, like, Percocet or some shit, but it's like... still puts its claws in you. Still strong. Still a crazy high. Still crazy withdrawals. You know, it's a ride. And I know it's an opioid too, because my tolerance was so high. On New Year's, I took a Percocet, and then I got, like, none of the high, but all of the drowsiness. Like, my opioid tolerance is so high. Like, I got none of the pleasure from taking a perk. Like, it's usually supposed to give you, like, a full body orgasm. Like, I got none of that. Fucking fell asleep behind the wheel and shit multiple times with my lady in the car. Shit's creepy. Shit's fried. Fuck. But yeah, now I'm, like, cutting down. I'm not talking to anyone about it. I think people are sick of hearing me talk about it, and I'm sick of people's reactions. So I just kind of give up. kind of just give up on telling people about it. I wonder if my counselor at the IOP program that I went to, I wonder if she knew I was going to get back on it. Like, I wonder if she knew me well enough to just know that I was going to go right back to doing it after the program. But I feel more susceptible to being addicted now after going through all this. Like I said in high school, is like I could do everything and then nothing will put its claws on me. But now I feel like really, like if I try anything that's like a cheap dopamine rush, it's like, I don't know, just that barrier I had in my mind, it's like cracked really bad. Yeah. Shit, what else is there to say? I'm optimistic. I don't think I'll be on this shit forever. It really sucks. It really, like, your like base level happiness, like I said, with high highs comes low lows. Your base level happiness or your content, it just like it gets like cut like more and more the more you do it. Like if you get to the point where you're like me, where like if you do it and like no amount of kratom can get you a high, or if you only get high for a few seconds, a couple of minutes, it's like when you're not on it, it's like just like your level, like your neutral, your most like neutral form, like in your mind. That's a pretty bad way of putting it. Like when you're just like at neutral mentally, not happy, not sad, just neutral. It's just like way lower, honestly, than how it is like before you got on it. And I remember when I was in the program, I wasn't 100% sober. I'd have like some fuck ups here and there and get on it. But I was just like way happier. I was way happier. I could feel way more. But I mean, I guess that's just what happens if you're just like depressing your nervous system constantly every single day. It's just like you're just gonna feel way less. But good things don't feel as good, but pain is always like just hurts way more. Like, I mean, loss theory still applies, where it's like a loss hurts twice as much as a win feels good. But it's like, it feels like when you're on that shit, a loss, let me see how much time I have left, a loss hurts like 3 or 4 times as much, you know, like, damn. And I went through some fucked up things this year too. Like before, like I was on it already, and then I went through like a ton of fucked up things, and then just made my addiction way worse, and then everything just hurt so much more. And then so many people kind of just gave up on me because of it. Like I had so many people who like told me they loved me and they cared about me, and then they just got sick of me, and then they're just like, they're gone. I lost a lot. And now my guard is so high up too, because it's like, if someone does kind of act like they fucking care about me, I'm just like ready for them to just go at any point. And like, I know I'm like a lot. And when I'm on that like withdrawal anxiety, I'm like a lot. So I can kind of understand, but it's like, why? Like, why even set me up for that? Sometimes I like being addicted, sometimes I hate it. But overall, it just sucks. It feels like I'm like an old toy. Like I just need batteries. Like I need to be plugged in to something, or I need to like recharge. Because if Oh shit, I have 3 minutes left. You know, I just need new batteries constantly. I gotta redose constantly because it's like if I don't, then I just start going through that withdrawal. I'll like be in my car driving someone. It's winter. It's like below freezing outside, and like my side of the mirror is fogging up because I'm like fucking hot as shit, sweating. Damn, I was supposed to make this shit funny, but this ended up being pretty dark. Shit, bro. Yeah, I don't know. Things will get better. They gotta get better. Your shit can't end here for me.